welcome back to Creepy Places of New England. For the opener, let me just say, witchcraft, murder, goes together like peanut butter and salami. So we're going to be dealing with that, of the legends of Dolly Cole. With this beautiful scenery right here, this is actually part of the reservoir for the city of Providence and many other neighboring towns. So we got a couple locations to go to you, and hope you enjoy this upcoming video and the beautiful scenery. You don't see too many places like this around here, that's for damn sure. Alright people, we are now in Foster, Rhode Island. And this area is off of Tuckahoe Road. It's this old cemetery. And it is rumored to be home of Dolly Cole, the witch of Foster. Now, I'm going to tell you, we're not going to be actually able to find her tombstone if she actually did exist and is actually buried here. The reason why is, if you can see, look at these. These things are like sinking, you know? And in fact, hey Steve, why don't you come over here and talk about what you think these mounds are?
Well, it's just interesting that whenever there's a grave, there's a mound that's covered with the moss. And it's almost like this is where the grave is. This is where the body is.
Oh my God, are you saying there's a body right there where that mound is?
It's pretty interesting because wherever there's a tombstone, there's one of these raised areas.
Yeah. Want to dig it up and see it?
Okay.
Okay. So she could be buried in here. And a lot of people have said that she is buried in here. But exactly where, we're not sure. So, okay, here's the legend of Dolly Cole. And I will say this is legend, okay? Dolly Ellen Cole was a witch that lived in Foster, okay? Her house was actually, from what I understand, somewhere around this wooded area, okay? Quick note, do not go into these woods. Besides it being a trespassing, yeah, okay, see, that's why. There's a club here, and it's a hunting club. So if you go there, you're going to get your ass shot. Anyway, but her house supposedly is in this wooded area around here somewhere. Okay? Now, as people may know from like the Salem witch trials and generally our history of intolerance, people didn't like, you know, having a witch in Foster. So several people in Foster in this area went to her house and burned her house. Okay? Big old problem there though, okay? She wasn't home. I think from what I understand from the legend, she actually went to go get some water by the nearby lake, which is where we're going to go to also. She was fetching water. Her daughter though, however, was in this lake. Was in the house. And the daughter died. So Dolly Cole was, well, pissed off and cursed this area. She said that she'll get revenge on the people in this area for the death of her daughter. I don't know what kind of curse, but, however, besides this cemetery, there's also numerous smaller cemeteries off of Tuckahoe Road. Many people were actually victims of like diseases and accidents, and we're all buried in this area. So some people, not all people, but some people have suggested that there's so many like diseases and death in this area because of Dolly Cole's curse. Now, isn't that interesting?
It is. Also in the cemetery, there's a lot of Civil War monuments as well. A lot of people that died a long way and their bodies were shipped back. And back then, that was a big thing.
Exactly. So, now, Dolly Cole does supposedly haunt this cemetery. She also just haunts Tuckahoe Road in general. See? Hear those bangs? Okay? Go in those woods. That will be you. I'm sorry. 1797. Like I said, this is one old cemetery. By the way, the incident with Dolly Cole, no one's exactly sure of the year. One of it is, as you can hear, they're shooting up a storm. Okay, one of the incidents actually places it in 1893, but there's actually several variations on Dolly Cole. I just told you the most popular one, but as we go further down to where Dolly Cole Brook is, and more on Tuckahoe Road, you learn that there's actually two other variations One lesser well-known one is that Dolly Cole was actually a vampire, but I guess that's not so unusual. People would think that because Rhode Island does have a history of vampires, if you guys remember that. And another one, she was actually a transvestite and or a prostitute. Okay, we were doing something here earlier. We heard some weird clicking noises and banging noises coming from down here. Really don't see anyone. I don't know if it could be one of the hunters, it could be one of the people there, but it was definitely weird. Like, it wasn't an animal because it clearly... Hello? Well, we know that was an animal.
Wow.
Okay. Alright, I have to tell you another little interesting story. Steve wants me to tell you this, actually. We came here one time, and I decided, Steve had me do some meditations. He wanted to see if I can go to get like a vibe here. So I did that, and I stood, and I did like a little, like a 10-minute, 15-minute meditation. And I did get this sort of vision of a tombstone, a very small tombstone with some flowers in front of it, with the name Mary on it. Well, we didn't think much of it, but then I got drawn to this particular spot right here. And then when I look over here, well, here's the tombstone. And it's actually Mary. Unfortunately, it's actually really gotten worn down since the last time we came here. This is actually a while ago. Can't really see it anymore. But what was coincidence, and I'm going to have to use the old picture to show you, is that me and Mary actually share the same birthday. So it's both on March 2nd. You can't really see it, but you can see a little bit of March on here. Portion of Tuckaholla Road. It's actually a little bridge that goes, it's a land bridge that goes over a little brook. Dolly Cole Brook. Huh, what a coincidence. Okay, as I told you, one variation of the Dolly Cole legend was that she was murdered, was actually a murdered cross-dressing prostitute. Or, well, she dressed in man's clothing, but she was also a prostitute. And her body was either dumped here, where this brook is, or was dumped by the bridge that you saw in the opening scene. This happened in 1893, and the reason why you don't hear too much about it is because, well, at the time, according to legend, was Lizzie Borden was getting up all the attention, the trial and stuff like that. Well, here is Dolly Cole Lake. Or Dolly Cole Pond. Sorry, Dolly Cole Pond. I think there's really much of a difference. So, quick note. Okay, as I might have mentioned, Dolly Cole Bridge and Dolly Cole Brook and Dolly Cole Pond. This is not named after Dolly Ellen Cole, the murdered witch, prostitute, vampire, whatever. It's actually named after a very well-to-do woman from this area, Dorothy Cole. Okay, and like I said, most of this whole thing I'm telling you about is like pure legend. I don't think there's really any documentations or anything on this. But as despite what people think, legends are just simply not made up. Okay, so anyway, people have witnessed a woman in white, famous woman in white, coming down here fetching water. And if you might remember from the past, some of the things I talk about, when Dolly Cole, according to legend, when she left the house when it got burned, she was actually fetching water. And there's been reports of people who come fishing out here, boating out here, have seen a woman on the edges over there fetching a pail of water. So there's always, something interesting to think about.